Live from the Base Room Studio 2.0 in Seattle, Washington, this is the Podworm Spacecast. The Podworms are 7 lifelong friends who, just like Chase's Halloween costume, will hug you in all the right places. Welcome to the Spacecast.
Jeez. Dude, that's 2 weeks in a row getting roasted on the intro.
I know, man. Right in the intro. It really just sets the tone for me.
God. Gift that keeps on giving.
Shit. Welcome to the first episode of Season 4 of the Podworm Spacecast. And what? We're on a rocket ship, and we're just going straight up. Let me introduce the Podworms we got in the room tonight. We have Podworms promoter, Peter Freeze.
Hey, love the pod. Huge fan.
We have V-neck aficionado, Chase Skolka.
Oh, that's me. Wow, that's pretty accurate.
That's a deep V.
More flavors than Baskin Robbins.
Yeah, definitely. I'm stealing that. I'm going to say that.
He has 32 shirts.
I'm stealing that. I'm saying that every time.
Bearded since 2010, Mike McCoy.
Hey, yeah, that's when I came in.
And looks a thing like Jesus, Phil Williams.
Praise be. Praise be.
Praise be.
Phil Williams, to whom all blessings flow.
You know, I could really get used to that. That's pretty nice. I can understand why Jesus is like so popular.
Wait, Jesus was popular because people wrote songs about him?
Yeah. You know what? As it came out of my mouth, I realized
that it's kind of like he just became a thing. He's like the Kardashians. They became a thing because they made themselves a thing. He's like, hey, can you write a song about me so people can start, being a fan of me?
Hey, any publicity, right?
Sure.
Yeah, dude. That crucifixion was a huge stunt.
You guys are sure that this whole cross thing is not going to cost me my life? Yeah, no, it'll be real great for you. People are going to really...
No, we'll take you down. We'll get you down.
It's all a
spear? What the fuck? I didn't sign up for a spear.
So season 4, we're gonna make up for our wrongs, and we're gonna do the judgment bit. All right. So don't judge me yet until we get there. We're going to talk about some of my gripes at work in a very ambiguous way, in case any people are listening, of course. And we're gonna play a few games, including one about sports and the one I aforementioned, the judgment game. You have to understand, I'm on a very disorganized notepad here.
Can I play the judgment game right now?
Yeah, please.
I judge that to be bad.
Thanks, Peter. Before we get into that, we have some pod mail.
Yes.
Ooh.
And I sent out the beacon, the bat signal for some pod mail because season 4 needed to get started with a bang.
Yep.
Some feedback from the fans, because as you know, the fans are the wind beneath our wings, and we wouldn't have made it to 4 whole seasons, which are just completely arbitrary amounts of time that we choose.
How could we have gotten here without the fans?
We've won 4 Webby Awards too.
Imagine if the Native Americans or the settlers or whoever the people who originally decided on time and seasons had just made it some random arbitrary amount of time where it's like, yeah, this seems like fall to me.
Yeah.
15, 16 days. And then summer, some other arbitrary amount of time.
Yeah.
That's exactly what the Podworms seasons are like. But with the difference being, well, there is no difference at all, actually.
It's the same thing.
So we have in summertime.
It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing.
It's the summer of our lives here in the Podworm Spacecast.
Yeah.
And we have a fan mail, a pod mail from a listener named Danielle Rosea. Okay. And she wrote in the podcast and she says, hey, Podworms.
Thanks, Danielle.
I'm doing you haven't even heard what she said yet. She might be shitting on you.
No, I just want to say thank you to Danielle.
She took the time to write to us.
Yeah.
That deserves a thank you.
Thanks, Danny.
Fair enough.
Hey.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Danny. Sorry. We call her Danny.
Oh,
Mike
yeah.
and I do.
Oh, sure. Yeah, you guys are tight.
Yeah.
Sometimes I call her D. Thanks,
What?
D.
You call her D?
Yeah, sometimes I just call her Duh.
Well, funny enough, her middle name is Courtney. She's DC.
Oh, yeah. I call her.
Oh, big
Like,
DC.
hit me with that DC.
Yeah, hit me with a DC.
She says, I'm doing my annual binge listen of all the podcasts on my flights to and from California. It's actually, this is not what she said, but she only really listens to the podcast while she's on an airplane. Weirdly enough. It's like some weird,
Fetish?
I think it's a fetish. I really think it is.
I think that's a fetish. You ever heard of the Mile High Club?
Honestly, pretty hot.
It's like when you associate weird things with other things. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe one time you saw some lady fart and you got an erection, and then all of a sudden
Yeah.
gas gives you the business.
Yeah. What are you going to do? It's just how it
Airplanes
works.
and podcasts.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
You get on the
You don't
podcast,
need
your ears
to-
start itching.
Yeah, you don't need to explain it. It's just you feel what you feel, you know?
Feel what
that
you
was
feel.
that was a hypothetical, by the way, guys. that never actually happened.
Sure.
But that's
No, totally.
Yeah. Sure.
it's actually not a bad way to promote the podcast. It's to spread this rumor that if you listen to the Podworm Spacecast on an airplane, you'll have the best orgasm of your life.
Yeah.
And make this a very pervasive thing. Like we go on Reddit, we make a million different accounts, and every post, no matter what it is, like a picture of a dog, will say, man, I said this weird thing. I listened to the Podworm Spacecast on an airplane, and I just came for like 10 minutes straight.
I came the whole time.
Because
You know what they say?
1 hour straight.
You know what they say? Pompey ain't got shit on me, man.
Because think about it. Think about how many people are flying every day. If we
Yep.
converted those flyers into listeners, done and done.
Come everywhere.
No longer frequent flyers, frequent fans of the pod.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Put those seat back tables up and those headphones on.
Joe Rogan, NPR, get out of the way. Podworms are coming in.
Joe
Watch
Rogan
out.
has an NPR
And
show.
Podworms coming out.
Watch out.
She said, I've listened to episodes 41 through 45. I thoroughly enjoyed every episode. You guys have come a long way from season 1. Okay, I don't appreciate the implications of that.
Yeah, what is that supposed to mean?
It's kind of like a backhanded compliment.
Very much so.
It's actually exactly that.
She has some comments. She says, my only comments are, Jim, you owe Peter a cheeseburger. Okay.
Let's not get into that.
I'm glad Kevin got educated on the difference between a cookie sheet and a sheet cookie.
We all are.
Us
really.
too. That was very
That was,
satisfying.
man. Ugh.
Also, she
There's
says,
a rift between us
Yeah.
for so long.
she says, also keep giving Daniel weird noises and random bullshit to cut out. I really enjoy when we're going to bed on Monday night and he remembers that he has to edit the podcast. Keep squirming, and I can't wait to listen again on next year's trip. Danny. Wow.
Wow.
Well, thank you, Danny.
Thanks, Danny.
That's probably the best Christmas card I've ever gotten.
Yeah, really though.
Yeah.
If you'd like to send us pod mail, pwspacecast@gmail.com is the place to be. Send it over. Give us your show notes. Criticize us. Or, just rubber balls a little bit, just kind of cup them up.
Or
Yeah.
Make us feel,
Just cup them up.
make us feel good.
if you'd like to receive pod mail from us to you,
Get on the mailing list.
Send us some pod mail and we will respond.
Oh, yeah. So something interesting has happened to me recently at work during lunchtime. So there's only so many places to go to when you're grabbing lunch at work. And one of my favorite places to grab lunch, I think anyone who listens to the show regularly might be able to guess this. It's QFC.
yeah.
The QFC across the street has been a location of many, many experiences that I've shared here in the podcast, including being the place I got my baking soda to fix my squeaky shoe problem.
Right.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of situations that have happened right there at that QFC. But one thing that happens is I like to get my sandwiches from QFC. I think the QFC sandwiches are some of the best in the world.
Wait, is this an ad?
What happened? All of a sudden, this like disingenuous tone came in. I think UFC sandwiches are some of the best sandwiches in the world.
That's just not true.
That's just not true.
No way. that
What
this-
I could name every sandwich in the world, and I think it's a little bit
There
better.
are stores that only do sandwiches.
Do you just get like 7-Eleven gas station sandwiches otherwise?
I mean, I'm comparing it to, I think, Subway mainly.
I would take a Subway sandwich over QFC
Which
sandwich.
everybody knows Subway has the best sandwiches in the world.
The QFC sandwich has been in that thing for like 3 days.
Yeah, you know what I like? I like it when someone makes a sandwich 2 weeks ago, wraps it up in saran wrap, lets it dry out, but then they leave the little mayo packet so you can make it fresh again.
I love those.
You can undry it.
You can undry it.
I loved the
There's always too much bread.
smashed tomato and the very, very either entirely dry or entirely soggy lettuce.
The lettuce that has like it's like the lettuce and tomato have become one
thing.
entity.
It's a symbiote. It's just, yeah, it's moving too.
It's pulsating too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, while I am a fan of the sandwiches, I also have some criticisms. They're too, first of all,
Okay, you have some criticisms of the best sandwiches in the world.
I'm really curious to
yeah, I
hear
want to
those.
hear them.
first of all, they're too slippery. All right. So when you're,
They got that loose meat, huh?
when you're building a sandwich, it's important that the when you're alternating the ingredients, that they have a certain amount of kind of they have the proper texture to kind of grip one another.
Yeah, so I'm just picturing Andrew opening up a sandwich and be like, oh, not again.
Jimmy John suffers from a similar
Oh yeah.
friction I'm not smart enough to know the actual term.
I know what you're
but
talking about. Yeah.
Coefficient probably sounds right.
it's
I
pretty
don't
bad.
know.
Yes, the coefficient.
The issue is you have some ingredients
I like a coefficient
The
sandwich.
Slipco.
like you get the meat. You get the meat and you slather some mayo or something else on there. And then you put a tomato on it. And this one has some avocado, the one I like to get some avocado. Ooh. And these things are all good, but they're all right next to each other. And what happens is you take one bite and they just slip right out the back of that thing.
Well, part of the reason it's slipping out the back is because it is a week-old sandwich, and all the moisture from the vegetables has gone into the bread, and
It's all lubed up.
yeah, it's very lubed.
Side note, can we get a podworm slide whistle? This would be a great time for it.
I mean, the sound effect did a pretty damn good job.
Yeah.
So that's one issue I have is that when you bite, all the shit slips out the back. So if they could work on having a better texture in the middle there to hold together, like a little bit of glue, perhaps.
Just a little bit of Elmer's. Just a half and half mixture of mayo and Elmer's.
Does this sandwich have horse glue in it? Okay, great.
Great.
I mean,
They solved this problem 60 years ago.
Toothpick.
Exactly. Or sword. Mini plastic sword.
Okay.
okay,
Oh.
plastic sword, I'm okay with.
You could also just hold it at the back.
Yeah, you really got to grip it at the back
Yeah, you gotta
while you
grip.
take a bite. But then make
goes
sure
on the
none
side.
of it- yeah, you got to really get a good handle on it.
I think this is really where the burrito shines.
Yeah, really though. This is where the wrap or the
Oh, the
burrito.
360 containment is
Yeah,
really
exactly.
what you're looking for.
I agree.
Yeah, usually foil involved.
It's a good ad for burritos. You got a slippery sandwich? Try a burrito.
Hey, come on down to Slippery Joe's Burritos.
Your sandwich is too slippery? Try a burrito.
Cut to like black and white footage of people like trying to take a bite of a sandwich and
just
everything falling
falls
out,
out.
and then shrugging at the camera. Oh no! And then the little magic thing comes over. Burrito.
It's what's for lunch.
Yeah.
So that's one issue I have. The second issue is that I like to get my sandwiches toasted. And this isn't so much an issue with the sandwich itself as the people who work at the deli.
Uh-oh.
Because some people are good at their job and some people hope that you don't notice that they're bad at their job. And here's what I mean. You ask them to toast the sandwich. A good employee will take the sandwich and they'll take it apart and they'll take the cold shit off of it. They'll take the lettuce and the tomato off. They'll put the meat and the cheese and all that kind of shit in there, get nice and toasty, get all the stuff that's supposed to be a little bit warmed up, and they'll take it back out. They'll deconstruct it and put the lettuce and the tomato back in. It tastes just divine. I'm telling you, QFC sandwiches, just the best.
Divine. To die for.
Divine.
But some employees like to slack on the job and hope that you don't
Take out a hair
notice.
dryer.
No. They'll just take the sandwich from the case and slap it directly into the fucking little toaster oven. And when you get it back, hot lettuce, hot tomato.
Hot tomato.
Okay? I mean,
Hot tomato.
I mean,
Hot tomato.
and I'll say this, I'll take a hot QFC sandwich over any other sandwich any day of the week. Okay? First and foremost, let's put that out there. I do not want to slight the QFC sandwich.
I feel like that makes it even more slippery.
It might, but it just frustrates me. And you can't really say anything about it. You can't be like, oh, can you please, I mean, I guess you could, but I'm never going to do that. So, but here's the nice thing. What I was going to get to with this whole thing is I walked into QFC the other day. I went to the deli and the woman behind the counter said, "Oh, you want the usual?" I'm enough of a regular there.
Oh, baby.
They know my usual, which is pretty crazy.
She probably goes home to her husband and talks about you to him when she talks about her day.
Andrew, what's her name?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's her name?
Andrew?
Yeah.
I don't know
Is she
her
the
order.
usual?
I don't know her name. We're on very
Do you call her the sandwich?
I don't. Well, not to her face.
The
But I mean,
I get it.
it's with every relationship, there is kind of the reacher and the settler. And I think that maybe she's the reacher, right? I mean, she's reaching,
She's reaching.
but
I feel like you're the settler in this equation.
Am
You've
I?
settled for QFC sandwiches.
well, yeah, I mean, that's
This is true.
Yeah, I don't know.
But either way, I'm a regular now at the QFC deli, which means I have to go find another place to eat for lunch because I can't be a regular at the QFC deli.
Why not?
I thought you already were with all your
Best sandwiches in the world.
You've obviously never seen Cheers.
I've seen Cheers, but the QFC in Capitol Hill ain't Cheers.
It's funny because I know the QFC, and I wish everybody could describe this wonderful QFC that he's talking about.
the best. The
This
best
is
way.
not a wonderful QFC. This is like the least wonderful QFC you've ever seen.
the best
I think
way-
I told this story. Maybe I didn't tell the story on the pod. I was at this very same Capitol Hill QFC buying liquor on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
About 9 p.m. I'm next in line and I walk up and the clerk, he just
says like, nope, not my job, like clocks out. There's like a huge line. He's like, nope, break time. Takes a break. And I sit there for maybe 15, 30 seconds. And then eventually, there's like 20 of us in line. So somebody else finally comes over and continues the checking out process. Since I was the next one in line, I check out, walk out the front door. The clerk is in his QFC apron. I kid you not, 18 inches away from the sliding door, smoking the biggest joint I have ever seen. I was laughing my ass off. He knew his time.
Yeah.
Well, all you have to know about this QFC is when you walk in, you pass no less than 3 or 4 security guards.
Yeah, exactly.
My dad used to work at that QFC, and they have a policy that if you see somebody shoplifting, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so he was not having that. And he had a guy that just shoplifted a whole like roast, like a big roast. The guy walked up to the counter, took the roast, just put it under his shirt, and decided he was going to walk out. And my dad was like, hey. And he chased him down, ran him, pulled him to go for stop him from going out of the store. And then this aforementioned security guards said, yeah, no, you can go. And the guy got to take the roast with him.
I like that even if your dad recovered the roast, it's just like some crazy person's belly sweat all over this roast.
Yeah, what are you to do with it at that point?
It's belly roast.
Good as new.
Also, I've never
belly
heard of
roast.
anyone stealing from a grocery store other than like 24 cases of beer.
Right.
Oh, roast.
I don't know. They may not have been able to afford Christmas.
Well, Emily was a checker at Fred Meyer, and she said they put sensors in all the meat packaging because people would steal steaks.
Bullshit. That doesn't happen.
I mean, I guess it was a thing. I don't know.
There's like the clothes, the thing that they put in clothes that like squirts blue ink. That just ruins the steak and your shirt.
Can you imagine them taking the meat package and using that little like magnet? Yeah, they're trying to get it pulled off. They're yanking on it.
Just take us flying everywhere.
They miss one and you take it home and you're grilling it. Oh, fuck.
It's in the steak. It's not even on the like little like styrofoam container. It's like in
the steak.
and through the steak. It's just this big old
They have to
plastic.
pull the steak out and rip the steak on the metal thing.
Can you imagine walking out a store like when you bought it and it has like the sketchy like the broken like security thing and you just walk through and it starts beeping. You're like, I only bought steak.
Oh no, it must be the steaks.
It must have been someone else walking out. It couldn't have been me.
You're like halfway down the block. You go to like the Safeway and you see if they have the thing to take the detector off. You know, have you ever had that happen where it's like you go to one store, you buy a shirt and they forgot to take the little thing off and you walk through the mall because the mall has, they all have the same detector and they all have the same little protective device.
Yeah.
And so if you get like you go to Macy's, you buy a shirt, they don't take the thing off. You walk to H&M, you buzz. You go to the next store, you buzz. And some of them have different mechanisms to take it off. Because that happened to me one time where I had to walk around the whole mall trying to. I don't know. I just didn't go back to Macy's, but
What? Why would you go to a different store? If I was the person at the other store, I'd be like,
Did you steal this? Is that why you're asking me to take the security thing off? Because this isn't from our store?
I love the story starts with, you know how this always happens to you?
You know how you can just go to any other store to get the security thing off?
I'm like, no.
Well, you know, at first I thought this was relatable. And then after telling it, I'm like, this is a pretty weird thing that I did.
You should be
Why
ashamed.
didn't I just go back to Macy's?
You were too ashamed.
That is probably not far from the truth.
I didn't do anything wrong.
I guess
yet
you
I
got-
feel
I
terrible.
guess if you have a receipt, that's a different story.
The receipt, yeah, I had the receipt, so it was all good.
Okay.
So we got a segment here. I'm calling it Judging Me, Judging You. Like in Sweet Caroline, judging me,
Judging me.
judging you. And the idea here is I find that when I'm out,
That was beautiful.
That was
We've been
wonderful, guys.
practicing that, and it really came through.
Yeah.
thank God, I find that when I'm out in my everyday life, on the bus, at QFC, I'm frankly making judgments about people.
I
And
think everybody does. They just don't talk about it.
for good or for better or for worse, I make
I
those
don't.
judgments.
They don't have a podcast.
And so
Yeah.
in an effort to really kind of align myself and to become a better and more whole person, I need you guys to judge me for judging these people. So I'm going to tell you about a few judgments I've made recently. And I need you to tell me if I'm just a fucking asshole or if I'm right on target.
Can we answer right now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're an asshole.
Thanks, Peter.
Yes. And
So here's my first judgment. So I've seen a lot of people, and I mean, when I say a lot, it's been quite a few situations this has happened where I've seen
a lot of people too.
okay. All right, let's judge Chase.
Sorry, I mean,
Chase, he's bearing his soul out here.
I know. I'm sorry.
He's trying to show us a new.
Sorry.
This is a very vulnerable place for Andrew.
Yes, it takes a lot of courage to do what I'm about to do right now.
Hey, I'm sorry.
So I've seen
This
a
is
lot
a
of.
safe place, Andrew.
Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that.
Keep being an asshole.
There are a lot of people in public with their partner, with their friends, and they have headphones in. And sometimes it's one like earbud, but sometimes it's two earbuds, and they're walking like through a grocery store with their partner with headphones in. And I can't possibly imagine what they're listening to. That's so important that they have to have headphones in while they're out with their like significant other or their friends. And so I think, and here's my judgment: if you are somebody who wears headphones with your partner in public, you are a fucking asshole. Now, I need you guys to tell me if I'm justified in that or not.
I feel like, I mean, I would hope they weren't listening to anything. Like maybe they just have their earbuds in. They're just
For style purposes?
No, they just never took them out. I don't know. I've done that before.
That
You just kind of forget about them.
Literally happened to me today. I walked with a coworker to the store. Like he just has them in. He's not listening to anything. They just
Did
sit
he
in
have
his ears.
both in or just one in?
He had both of them in. I didn't care. I knew he was listening to me.
But also, yeah, if you are listening to something while you're out walking through the grocery store with your significant other, you're probably an asshole. Hey, hon, can you grab the bread? Wait, what?
Wait,
What did you want?
It just reminds me of being like 14 years old and being on a road trip with your parents or something. And
Yeah.
you're like, Mom and Dad, I don't want to listen to your
don't wanna
stupid
be here."
ELO music.
Yeah, what if you're
I listen to cool music.
What? ELO.
That's a fantastic band.
I find it is more of an asshole to be a person who goes into a store solo, walking around listening to their earbud like music.
Really?
Like take your fucking earbuds out and just like be a human.
What?
Be aware of people around
What if
you.
you're not talking to anybody?
No,
We're not in agreement. We've also gotten pod mail about people shopping in a store listening to our podcast.
I
No,
almost
no, no.
still-
If it's
And
the
I think
Public
it's a
Space
great. I
Cast,
think it's
that's a
great.
different story.
I think it's great.
I
You know what?
always
If you're
listen.
shopping alone, I say, I encourage you to wear the headphones.
Yeah, I listen to music all the time.
Just
when I'm
take
in
it
the
off when you
grocery store.
talk to the person, right?
Yeah, that's
And
what I do.
also-
I take them all the way out so they know that I'm actually listening
I
to them.
support that. Sometimes, I mean, what if you got the headphones in with your significant other? What if he or she is just a real bitch and you don't really want to deal with them?
Yeah.
I was gonna say, what if they're mute? You know,
Yeah, who cares?
Oh, wow.
Wait, what?
You know,
well, if they can't talk, so it's like, you know, whatever.
it still feels somewhat disrespectful.
Aren't people who are mute typically deaf as well?
Yeah, so it's like it's not like
Why
changing
do
their
they have-
experience.
They're saying the person that doesn't have the headphones in.
Yeah, the other person's like,
They're
well,
just confused
I
why-
just listen to podcasts. Like, well, I mean, this is the only way I get my conversations in.
So for this one, I guess everybody besides Peter thinks I'm not an asshole, but Peter thinks that you should listen to headphones while you're with your coworkers. But when you're by yourself, you need to participate in the world and take them out. Is that correct?
I don't understand the logic in that at all.
I don't know. Yeah, in general.
Okay, so here's my next judgment. I think people who talk on their phones on speakerphone are inconsiderate douchebags.
Out in public.
And when they're out in public,
Oh, yeah.
especially
Oh,
if you're in a
yeah.
cramped space, if you're on your fucking phone on speakerphone, there's no goddamn good reason for that.
Why?
Yep.
Why?
Yep. Yeah, I totally
What do
agree.
you? What's the benefit of doing that over just having the phone to your ear?
Like,
Can we think of one benefit
No.
to that?
You can look at your phone, like if you need to look something up or take a note while you're on the phone.
Okay, yeah.
That's a one thing. I can think
Earbuds. You can look
Okay,
at your
yeah.
phone and literally talk to the person.
Oh yeah, true.
of. I'm talking about when you
yeah.
actually hear them
Yeah.
just over the speakers of the phone.
Yeah, that's
what I'm talking
stupid.
about.
Yeah, no, I'm like saying like you would never ever need to put somebody on speakerphone.
Oh yeah, right.
yeah.
Those remind me of the type of people who like don't give a fuck to the point of where they want to advertise that they don't give a fuck, and because they think it's cool.
Yes. Yeah.
And that annoys me so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, I can't
You're like,
get
that's
behind
not
that.
edgy and cool. It's just annoying.
Yeah.
You're not cool.
You're just not cool.
Stop.
Unless you're trying to like convince people that you have friends. You know?
See, that's part of it. That
You
comes
have,
with the territory.
like
I
a guy that's like, man, every time I go walking around, people just give me this like this look that's like, you're such a
think. I want
lonely
people to
guy.
know I have friends.
Well,
But
what if
I
you
do
have,
have friends, and I'll talk to them.
I mean, what if you have a friend that does a really good President Obama or a JFK impression, and you have them on the other side of the line, and they're talking to you,
Yep.
and everybody around you's like, oh my god, they're talking to JFK right now.
that
How many times has that happened though?
how many people would notice no one would be sitting in the bus or like walking around being like, that guy, that guy's an asshole for talking on a speakerphone.
I don't care if it's Barack Obama. I don't want to hear Barack Obama on the phone.
Don't you have work to do?
Thanks, Obama.
Okay, so in this one, I'm justified in thinking that
Total
they're
asshole.
Okay. And my last one was, I think people who use the self-check with more items than you would consider as like an express checkout line, also inconsiderate piece of shit. I think they should be denied from using the line. They should be removed. I've seen people I've seen
groceries put back out of the store.
I mean, at least removed and put in a regular line, if not just kicked out
Removed
immediately.
and put in some type of concentration line.
I think it really depends on the hub. If you go to a nice Fred Meyer's, a real hoppin' Fred Meyer's, you got what, 15, 20 hubs right there.
Yeah.
If you go to the corner QFC and there's 4 little stations, I'm with you. Fuck you, get in the line. Like,
yeah.
Don't be looking up your fucking fruit that you're trying to
exactly.
find.
Because you know those
my
people,
God.
they got 47 different vegetables
You
they gotta look up.
select non-organic, and then the guy comes over like, actually, that's organic.
Also,
Dude.
isn't that just punishment? Like, that's not easy.
Yeah.
Like, especially like Safeway's, like whatever the self-checkout thing is so terrible because
It's
like
not easier.
if you put something and you don't put it fast enough, then it's like, whoa. Stop everything. Did you actually put that in your
Hold
cart?
on a second. Are you stealing things?
Hey, buddy.
Like, it's like, that's literal punishment to go in with that many things. And then you have to like, because anytime you move the bag, it's like, whoa, everything's wrong. Where'd all the weight go?
You know what?
Where'd all the weight
You know what
go?
is also infuriating? And I imagine these people are equally as slow as the multi-itemed cart, is the old person who chooses to use self-checkout, but cannot comprehend
Has
the
no-
software.
has no
So they're
idea.
calling the attendant and they're getting angry and they
Or-
have coupons. And it's just like,
the
Jesus
coupons.
Christ, you have a Kit Kat and some like Pepto-Bismol. That's it. You should have been in and out.
God.
Or you get the old person who is in charge of the self-checkout and has no idea how to fix the problem that you're experiencing.
It's almost the yin to that yang.
Yeah, the person that like at the Safeway that I go to regularly, the person that's like always at the self-checkout I don't think I've ever seen them have a good day.
Yeah, really though.
Like never.
so
It's
true.
every single time. It's like them running around. They're like, and I always try and be super nice. And they're like, oh my gosh, it's just been crazy around here. I'm like, this is your everyday right now.
That's just the nature of self-check, I guess.
What is the name of that? The like the Sultan of the self-checkout.
Yeah,
what is it? Is that-
Yes, yeah.
Sultan of Self-Checkout.
Sultan of self-checkout.
That's what it is, I think.
Well,
Yeah, that's why.
It
That's,
looks really
that's
good
why
on
they
a
have a
resume.
collection of rubies and
That explains the turban.
yeah.
Well, I figured out the other day what happens when. So I had this milk and I tried to scan it and put in the thing where it registers whether you put the item there or not, and it told me to remove it. It's like, remove the last item. I said, okay. I took it off, and then it didn't tell me to put it back in. So I scanned the next thing and put it in. And so at the end of the transaction, I had everything scanned except for the milk. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's fine. I went to go scan my card, and that said attendance on the way. And those machines always fuck you up because you can call the attendant, but you can also just do some shit that forces the attendant to come to you. And then you're like, oh no. Now I have to explain whatever I just did to get the attendant called on me.
the worst.
And so it was because the thing was scanned but wasn't in the area. And I realized that it gives an item count. And so when that happens, they look in the bag and count the items to make sure that you're not stealing shit, right? Because if it says like there's supposed to be 7 items and you have 12 items in the bag, you're stealing some shit. So he counted it all up, but he did it like twice. It felt like he didn't trust me.
Oh.
And I was like, the milk's right here on the damn screen.
Those Sultans are absolutely profiling. If I go to the store and I'm wearing nice clothes, no problem. They don't be like, oh yeah, let me get that for you. I go to the store in like sweatpants, shitty t-shirt, no hair not combed. So
How many,
what do you got in here? What are you doing?
what are you doing?
What, you live in this neighborhood?
You from around here?
They definitely are profiling.
I don't think any self-checkout clerk that I've run into, I don't think I've ever met one that's ever been like mean. They've usually always, like, especially if I'm nice to them, because it's very clear that their entire life is only frustration.
Yeah.
Like if I'm nice to them, they're typically nice to me. There was only one time where I thought that this person was being a total dick. And then, but it was like they were like yelling at some old lady, not really, but they were like very like stern and like, come on, hurry along, I don't know, this kind of thing. And we're like, I mean, she's old, like obviously she's having some issues. That's fine. And then the lady finally left, and then the lady came over to us and was like, I'm sorry, you had to see that. That lady's literally been here for 4 hours.
Wait, at the self-check for 4 hours?
I think it was like she was in the store, like kind of going in and out, but it was like she's like, that lady like literally would not leave. And just has all the coupons in the world and just couldn't do it. I tried to help her. Like she like had an explanation because at first I was like, oh no, I hate to see a self-checkout clerk be mean. This would ruin my whole, perspective.
No.
Oh dear.
Those damn extreme couponers.
Yeah.
Really bringing down the business from the inside, taking advantage.
So it sounds like on all counts here, I was pretty much in the right side of things, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Good job.
Well, thank you for all judging me.
Good job judging people.
Before we get into our sports related game of the evening,
Oh yeah.
I wanted to gripe about some workplace issues. All right. The first one, it happened in the workplace, but it wasn't necessarily a coworker. It could have been, and if it was, it just makes it all that much more disturbing. So I went to the bathroom as I always do. Okay.
Yep.
And I
if
went.
you guys know Andrew, that's what he always
I'm always
is
going to the
doing.
bathroom.
As is
Yes.
tradition.
So I went to I would call it my second favorite stall. There's 2 floors and they both have 2 stalls. One of them is larger for handicap purposes and the
Yep.
one downstairs is huge. It's like you can just spread out, have a good old time down there. That is
Bring your picnic basket.
spread out.
Really.
So it is terrific. For shitting, I could not recommend it more highly.
Is it multi-purpose? Like, can you reserve it for meetings if you need to?
I mean, yeah, it has a dedicated calendar. Yeah.
That's good.
But I went to my second favorite stall and I'm getting so ready to just drop trow, touchdown,
Rub
and
one
just have a great time.
You love shitting. I can tell by the way you tell this story.
Well,
This is a highlight of your day, right?
I was looking forward to it, and lo and behold, I'm unzipping the pants. I look down, and there is literal feces on the toilet seat.
Oh, damn.
And let me remind you, this isn't just the 7-Eleven down the street. This is a place of work that you need a key to get into the building. So this is somebody in a professional.
This is like the movie Clue. Lock the doors. Nobody walks out
No
here.
one in or out.
No one's getting out. But I'm like, all right, I've seen some pretty, gross stuff in the bathroom. It's okay. But this is a place where the only other people who use the bathroom are people you work with. Imagine you had done this. You had, by some act of God, dropped some shit on the toilet, whether it came off the toilet paper or it slipped out of your asshole. There's shit on the toilet seat.
Slipped out.
on the thing. And you then look at it, you say, yes, I'm okay with leaving this, and the next person can deal with it. And you walk out. And what if your coworker is right outside and takes that stall? You can't ever make eye contact with that person again. You're now the guy who shit on the toilet seat.
That's so true, actually.
on
Well,
the
there's a lot
toilet
of
seat.
risk involved in
Oh
doing
yeah.
that.
What
Yeah,
spot of the seat was it on?
Like if we're looking at the toilet as a clock,
Yep.
it was 1 o'clock.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It's up there.
It was
Right.
on the so
Back-
if I'm sitting there back and to the left.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
Right. And
How the
so,
hell?
but here's the thing is that I did wipe it off, but it was like dried on there.
Dude.
Oh.
Is
been
this,
there a
is this
while.
bathroom
Been there for-
unisex?
No,
It's a man's bathroom.
it's a man's bathroom. Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Hovering.
Yeah, a little bit.
Little
bit
hover.
helicoptering shit.
A little
Yeah,
hover action.
parapooping.
Yeah.
Oh no.
And they just missed.
We're hip.
Whoops a daisy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a man's bathroom, so that was very disturbing.
Like how does that work?
What, the shit gets on the toilet seat?
How?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Who because it would make slight sense if it was directly at 12 o'clock. Like if they were a larger person and maybe
Maybe they had really leaned forward.
Yeah.
a lot.
They leaned to the side and they were
like just a little bit of brown.
Oh, I got it. Maybe they were trying to like let out a fart and they like rocked to one side.
As they were sitting down, they were farting.
oops.
But
on the
that's,
seat.
you know what? I agree with you, Peter. I've had a change of heart. It was they had to go so bad that as the trousers were coming down, that's when they
Boom.
Yeah, but
blasted.
then they would have just sat down right on top of it.
Well, maybe their butts smeared up the rest of it.
Oh no. Who's the
I don't
most disgruntled person at your workplace?
I mean, it's probably me, but it wasn't me.
You did it. No, you did it and you don't remember.
Oh my God. I blocked it out of my memory.
Because pooping is such a positive experience.
do this?
Yeah. So I don't know. I hope that person, if they're listening to the podcast, please come forward to me in confidence. I won't tell people, but I need to be to know that we kind of solved this. It's not going to happen again. I just need your reassurance that's not going to happen again.
He's on poop patrol.
Poop patrol.
I'm on poop patrol.
Poo troll.
So we're going to go ahead and take a real quick break, and then we're going to wrap this little shindig up with a sports game. Stay tuned.
Sports game.
Sports game. Oh man, I'm so excited for the sports game.
Hi, this is Pablo from the lineup with Luke and Pablo. We do a podcast about film and top 5 lists. So imagine John Cusack from High Fidelity, but much less obsessive. Each week, we take a deep dive into random film topics, complete with the occasional special guest and embarrassing stories.
Well, it's tough because I don't know what like your expectation was for me like watching this movie, but
To love it, obviously.
unfortunately I can't say that I love the movie after watching it.
You are never going to convince me to like that movie.
So my number 1 sequel is The Empire Strikes Back.
I don't know how haunting works, but apparently you die and send your friend to do your bidding for you.
So head on over to Apple Podcasts or SoundCloud for The Lineup with Luke and Pablo.
Alrighty, time for the exciting conclusion of the Podworm Spacecast with a fun little sports game.
I'm
Yes.
so excited.
So
Sports game.
I've got here in front of me a list of people who played sports.
Sports.
And I need you to tell me if this is a real athlete or a name that I made up.
Yay. Okay, cool.
This game does not have a name, but it is a sports game. Let's get going. First off,
We really need theme music right there. Sports.
thank you. That's all we needed.
That's it.
EA. EA Sports. we should get the EA Sports drop. EA Sports. It's in the game.
Podworm Sports. It's a game.
It's a game.
It's a game.
I like that just as much. The first name is Dick Pole.
How do you spell it?
It's just both those words as you typically spell them. Dick Pole.
Origin? Can you give me the origin?
Can you tell me which sport he played?
Yeah.
Not just did he play sports?
Yeah.
I'm sure if there was someone who named Dick Pole, he probably played some sports at one point.
No, I can't give that away.
Wrestler.
Okay. Dick Pole.
Wrestler.
Dick Pole.
Wrestler.
Pole.
Is this a real person, the real athlete, or somebody
Yes.
that I made up?
Real
I'm
athlete.
going to
Chase-
go real right off the bat just
Chase,
because.
Phil, Mike, real?
I need a win. I'm going no. It's a fake person.
No. All right, Dick Pole. He is a real person.
Nice.
He played for the Portland Beavers in 1980.
Yeah, he did.
Dick Pole.
Who are the Beavers?
Dick Pole.
Baseball?
I think they're baseball. Yeah.
I think they're baseball. It does make sense that Dick Pole played for the Beavers.
Yeah.
He did play sports. We can't tell you which sport where he played.
Just believe me.
Believe me, sports were played.
you know the Podworm Space Gas is a little bit of a multimedia interactive experience. If you are curious about Dick Pole, go look it up.
Multimedia interactive.
Look it up.
I mean, if you're listening to this right now, you're either on a phone or a computer. Go look it up.
Don't be a fucking lazy
All right.
ass.
You expect me to do everything for you? I'm guiding you on an experience.
Please tweet us back what the Portland Beavers are.
Yeah, I really would like to know.
Please do.
Please tweet us a picture of your dick pole. Dick pole. Sorry, excuse me.
Right.
Hashtag Dick Pole.
All right. The next person that may or may not be an athlete is Urban Shocker.
How do you spell that?
It's the same as you'd expect.
I really hope that someone did not
What
name their child
sport?
Urban.
Can you tell us the sport this time?
I unfortunately am not allowed to tell you the sport.
Every time he dunks, he's like, Shaka!
Urban Shocker.
There's no way this is
He's
real.
flipping the hand sign.
Unless he played slam. This sounds like a guy's name who would have played slam ball, like the trampoline basketball.
Urban Shocker.
Oh, classifying slam ball as a sport.
Yeah, all these are real.
I don't know. They tackled each other.
He was one of the names of one of the characters in NBA Street.
Urban
Ooh, okay.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go yes.
No.
I'm gonna say no on this one.
I'm gonna go yes on this one because I hope that they're all yes.
Okay, so we're all so who's the dissenter who's saying no? Phil?
Mike.
No, I say
So
yes.
Peter and I said no. Jason Phil said
Yeah,
yes.
yes.
Okay, got it. Urban Shocker played for the Yankees.
Yes.
From 1916 to 1928.
Urban Shocker.
Urban Shocker.
And what a career he had.
Only in the cities, though. When he
Peter-
played in Kansas, it was not great.
You look,
Not good.
you look like you're in disbelief, Peter. And let me tell you, look it up.
Honestly,
No thanks.
that news is a shocker.
God damn it! I was gonna do that.
All right. The next person who may or may not be an athlete is Rock Hardman.
These all have to be yes.
Can you?
All yes.
Can you just spell that?
Yes, his first name is Rock and his last name is Hardman.
Okay.
Hardman.
Oh my God.
Rock Hardman.
And sport.
Rock hard.
I can't tell you that, Peter.
Okay.
Hey, Rock, you feeling good? Yeah, I'm rock hard, man.
Oh my God.
Son, what jersey do you want? I want Rock Hardman.
Rock hard,
Rock
man.
hard.
Who's your favorite player, buddy? Rock Hardman.
So is he a real person or
Hell
or-
no. That's too funny. There's no way he's Rock Hardman. That cannot be.
God, I
The
don't
only reason
know.
I think it might be fake is because Andrew's laughing really hard, so I feel like he made it up.
I'm gonna go with fake.
I'm gonna go with real.
That's fake.
Oh, good.
I made that one up.
That reminds.
Yeah, you love it. I can tell.
I do.
I worked at a warehouse that shipped window.
Rock hard, man.
Rock hard, man. You were so proud of yourself too. When you came out
That's fucking hilarious.
of Rock hard, man.
Rock is like not even a first name.
Rock hard, man.
But it's Rock. Rock hard, man.
Rock hard, man.
Yeah. What were you saying, Mike?
I worked at a warehouse where they shipped a bunch of windows out, and one of their like main clients was a guy, and I had to write down his name all the time, and his name was Richard Harder. Like real man buying a bunch of windows. Richard Harder.
Is he compensating for something?
I think so. They're big windows, let me tell you. He got a lot of sliding glass doors. I had to make a ton of crates for him.
Richard Harder sounds like something creepy. Porn directors. Richard.
Richard Harder. Richard
Harder.
Richard, not hard enough.
Look, it's like the Rafiki of porn. Be harder.
No, Richard, listen. Harder, Richard.
You know the way.
His spiritual guide. Look deep in yourself, Richard. Harder.
He like takes him aside and shows him a pool of water. Look, just
It's actually a pool of cum.
remember who you are. This is like a great part for a Chase's segment.
Oh my God.
Another man who might be good for a role in that film, Fabian Assman. Fabian Assman.
True.
Fabian Assman.
Fabian Assman.
I don't.
Even though he sounds like a Charles Dickens character.
Fabian Assman. So
Fabian
Phil seems
Assman.
pretty convinced that he's a real person.
I'm gonna go real.
I found the best
Fabian?
strategy in this game is go with your gut. Your initial reaction is gonna lead you.
I'm going to go real as
That
well.
hasn't led me to, but for some reason it feels like real.
Fake.
Okay. He is a real
God
person.
damn it.
He plays soccer and he's currently playing for a team
Fabian.
called Old Sovi.
Old
Soviet.
Old Sovi.
My name
I
is
guess
Fabian.
old Soviet was already a take.
Old Soviet.
No, that's the old one.
Yeah. It's the over 65 team.
All right. Fabian Assman is indeed real.
Assman.
Paulina sent me a client's name from her work. The first name is Porn Tape.
No.
Porn
No
Tape.
way.
PORNTAPE.
No
What?
Porn,
way.
Porn tape.
That is real.
Are there any
What
accents
is,
or
what is
anything?
it a picture of?
Porn Tape. That's the client's name.
Porn tape.
And we should probably beep that out. Sorry.
Porn
Oh,
tape.
yeah, that's true.
We don't want to send our rabid fan base
Yeah,
out.
Bleep the last name out. Put
Yeah, I
the-
mean,
put the porn tape in.
Yeah,
Because
porn
if they just
tape
look
in.
up porn tape on Facebook, they're not going to be able to find the right one.
Yeah, go Google porn tapes. See if you can find who this person is.
All you need is the first name.
Good luck.
Yeah, first person to find them wins.
From all the porn tapes on Facebook. All right. The next athlete, their name is Elijah Tits.
Oh, real. Absolutely
tits.
real. He was an
my
all-star
God.
for the Detroit Pistons back in the 70s.
All right. Peter's convinced
Holy
it's real.
shit! I feel like, are you making that up?
No, man. Elijah Tits was the tits.
All right, I'm with you, man. I'm with the tits on this
Interestingly
one.
enough, that's what that phrase came from.
I'm with the tits.
That's the tits.
Elijah
That's the
Tits.
tits.
With the tits.
Okay. So Peter says yes. Chase, you're piggybacking on Peter.
I'm just gonna say yes because I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback. Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Phil's the only dissenter that says no. Yeah, Elijah Tits is fake. I made that.
Peter, you led me astray.
Elijah tits.
Is that the last question? Is that the last question?
Phil, have you gotten every single one
That
right?
is not the last one.
I thought
Stakes are high.
There's 3 left.
3 left. I'm never gonna get a perfect score.
You're never gonna be able to do it. You've come this far, dude. You've come this far.
If you're playing along at home, let's see if you can beat Phil's score here. All right. Let's see if you can keep a full 100% accuracy rating here. Next up, we have Melon John Camp.
Yes. No.
Oh, you
No
mean
way.
John Mellencamp?
John Cougar Mellencamp?
Jack and
You're busted. You're busted.
You dip.
Suck it down, chili dogs.
Melon John Camp.
No.
Okay, everybody.
No.
Melon
His name is
John
Camp John Mellon.
Camp John.
I'm gonna go real. I'm just gonna do it.
No.
Okay, Mike's taking the.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean, but you got you have to make a bold play to be successful in this game. Okay, so everybody besides Mike doesn't think that Melon John Camp is a real person.
John Camp.
I just really want it to be real.
Is his last name hyphenated?
Melon John Camp.
This is our son Mellon.
The last
His
name
name
is
is Melon.
not hyphenated. It's just one word, John Camp.
Oh, okay.
Obviously, like all the other John Camps you've ever known.
John Camp.
Okay, Melon John Camp, not a real athlete.
Wanted it to be real.
Okay,
Melon John
Were you struggling when you were coming up with the fake ones?
not at all. Actually, they were coming pretty quickly.
Did you forget about Rock Hard Man so quickly?
Rock hard, man.
All right, two left. Ben Gay,
Yes, real player.
Real player.
Real player.
real.
Okay, real.
Pretty sure he plays
They
football.
answered pretty fast.
he is a real person. He played for the Cleveland Browns in 2001.
Oh,
I remember because his name is like Ben Gay.
I need
Ben
Ben
Gay.
Gay.
Yep.
that's a good sponsor right there for Ben Gay.
And the last one, Phil, you still 100% right now?
I am.
All right, so you have to nail this one,
Shit.
or else you're fucked.
Jeez.
All right, last athlete, Ariel and Sebastian.
Ariel and Sebastian.
Ariel and Sebastian.
Fakey fake.
Fake. Okay. Phil saying fake.
Abe just trying to keep his shit right now.
I feel like I just have to oppose Phil just because I want to get one right that he gets wrong. So I'm gonna say yes.
Okay. So Phil, no. Mike, yes.
Ariel and
Wait,
Sebastian.
wait. Yes, meaning
There's
real.
no way this can
Right.
be real.
Yeah, what?
There's no way.
I'm gonna also say fake because that's the fucking Little Mermaid. But anyway,
Is N the initial?
N is his middle name. Initial first middle name.
Oh, this guy's a real baseball player.
You can't trick like that.
Peter, I don't trust
real
you anymore.
Real baseball player.
No, I don't trust you
Absolutely a pitcher.
Are you gonna change based on that,
Heck
Phil?
yeah.
You're gonna change?
Yeah, I'm changing.
This dude's
So
fucking real.
yes, he's real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter's leading you astray, dude. Don't do it. That's the only one I got wrong.
I'm changing mine.
So
That's the only one I got wrong, and that's why.
trusting-
I'm pretty sure he's a baseball player.
I'm saying it's fake because Phil's saying it's real.
Okay, so I need official last tally because this is
Okay.
important now. Peter,
I think he's real.
Chase,
I'm gonna go fake.
Mike.
Opposite of Phil.
Okay, I'm gonna go real.
This is fake. Ariel and Sebastian, dude. Come on.
Come on. I knew I was
That's
right.
fake ass shit.
I betrayed my own strategy. I said go with your gut.
You let
and I let Peter lead me astray.
That's the second time I did that too.
That's the lesson learned. Even though
But you know
should
what?
have retired on top.
That's
Should have just retired mid-game.
that's
I
just
retire because I got all of them right.
that is the nature of the sports game, I'm afraid.
That's just sports. What can you
Just
do?
sports.
It is. Well, thanks everybody for listening to our season premiere of season 4 of the Podworm Spacecast. If you would like to have your pod mail read in the podcast, shoot us an email, pwspacecast@gmail.com. You can follow all of our funny antics, see all the pictures that we talk about on the podcast via our social media on Instagram and Facebook at the Podworm Spacecast. And as always, space fans, until next time, keep squirming.